Hear ye, and welcome to the Royal Geek Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Olson, also known as T-Roll, and tonight I am joined by my very good friends. First of all, we have, to my left, Justin Sandoval, a.k.a. Sandy, and we also have Anthony Amato to my right, who we like to call Shamato. Boys, we are here to review the finale of one of our favorite shows.
Series finale.
Finale, yes.
It's done.
That's what I meant. Finale. Yeah, the total series finale of Ted Lasso.
Yes. Gosh, so near and dear to our
Now,
hearts.
if you're new to the podcast, you might think, Ted Lasso. First of all, hopefully you're watching it or have watched it. But you might be thinking, that doesn't really feel like a geek thing.
No, you're right.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's got its own special niche group.
Yes.
But it's got a special place in our heart because I think it came out in 2020, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes,
they
it
recorded it in 2019 before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't necessarily review it, but we did have
Something to watch.
It's something to watch.
Well, and
we
it was-
bonded over it.
yeah,
We
we
bonded
did.
over it.
And it was kind of the Apple TV Plus launch show.
Special,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I still think they don't realize, I bet there's going to be a documentary one day, like some executives being like, we had no idea it was going to be this successful.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think anybody had any clue.
No.
Yeah, season
no
one
idea.
came on and it was just
Took the world by fire.
If
Yeah.
they really thought it was going to be this successful, they would have launched it 10 years before when they first
Did the commercial.
Yeah, it would have been like the next summer. It would have been like in 20 years ago when they had the Caveman show after the success of the Caveman
ouch.
TV series.
Or like the Good Burger
It was-
movie
Yeah.
from the Good Burger skits and all that, you
Yeah.
know?
You're right.
But anyways, yeah, Ted Lasso, man, it's got a special place in our heart. The series finale and also the season finale of season 3 just happened this past Wednesday.
Yes.
Yes.
So we thought it would be good to do a little pod where we just kind of, review the finale a
maybe
little bit.
throw back and forth a little banter.
Get it? He's repping his Danny Rojas jersey.
I got my Danny Rojas jersey on.
Football is life.
If you are
Football is
if you're
life.
watching the podcast on YouTube, you could see me sporting this beautiful AFC Richmond jersey.
so
Wonderful quality. It's really soft.
I'm jealous.
Jealous?
I thoroughly am jealous. I want to touch it. Can I touch it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll wait for after hours.
Yes.
After the pod.
Yeah,
okay.
there you go.
But anyway, shout out to everybody who's listening. We want to remind you to please subscribe to the podcast wherever you are listening, and to please follow us on social media at Royal Geek Pod. Okay. Also, share this podcast with some of your friends. If you like Ted Lasso, you have another friend that likes Ted Lasso, share this podcast with them. All right, boys. Oh, and also, spoiler warning.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're going to talk about the finale of season 3 and the finale of the series.
Yeah.
Let's just do the finale episode first,
Yeah.
and then we'll talk about maybe the whole season,
Sure.
and then the whole series.
Let's do it.
Okay. What do we think of this finale?
Was an emotional roller coaster.
Yes.
Emotional roller coaster. I know. I think I was the first one to send the text in the group chat, and I was like, "Man, I laughed, I cried, I was smiling, and I cried again." Like it was just, it was a fun time, but there was a lot of tear jerking moments as well. Enjoyed it.
I've made the mistake the last couple episodes that I've watched of watching them too late at night. Like I'm just like right before I'm about to go to bed, and I'm just like this
Can't sleep.
emotionally drained, like emotionally raw state, like that is unnecessary for a TV show to do to you. But it's like but it's so good. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I felt emotionally. It was incredible. It was. It was hilarious too. They all are. But I felt like it was just for the most part a pretty appropriate ending.
So much heart.
So much heart.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's what kind of stole Ted Lasso on, like when it came out of the scene. Like it was the heart of the show. Like there's some goofy, crazy wildness going on in the background, like that kind of thing. But at the soul of this show, it is heart. And
totally.
this right here builds on that.
This heartfelt support system that they have built at this, Premier League football team.
Yeah.
Is just like insane.
Yeah.
I'm just going to jump into one of my highlights of the episode. When they are in the locker room at halftime and they're all bringing the pieces of the Believe
Yeah.
poster together.
Yes.
So good, man.
So
So
good.
good. Trust me.
Quality.
I had waterworks for the whole entire
Yeah.
time.
That is that's
And you know what's great about that is one of the what's it called? Jamie Tart. Okay.
Yeah.
When he pulls out his paper, right? If you look closely, it's the book that he gets in episode 1.
It is.
Yes, it's the
It's an effing book.
Yes. And when you see the book of first in episode 1 of the whole entire series, it's like crisp clean and like it's a book, brand new book.
Yeah.
And this time when you see it, like it's ripped, it's torn, it's been flipped through. You can see that he actually has been reading it.
It's a physical embodiment of the change that his character has made.
Literally. Yeah.
Which you tell 2020 Justin that your favorite character is going to be Jamie Tart in 2023,
or
you'd
that
be
your
slap
favorite,
yourself.
or that your favorite interpersonal relationship is going to be Jamie and Roy.
Oh, I know. The
best friendship in the show.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I mean, I always think back to that episode in season 1 where they're at that
The club
for the children
banquet.
and
Yes, yes,
they're
yes.
like they have to have that moment where they like Ted's trying to get them to come together.
Yeah.
And now they're like, they're boys.
Yes.
But even that they had a scuffle.
Yes.
In this episode that was amazing.
Yes.
Man, there's
Fighting for Keely.
Keely herself has come a long way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she has a callback to her season 1 self when she was walking in the locker room. I hope you guys are decent, and
Yes.
she like kind of laughs about it.
There's just so many.
Yeah, the parallels from
did so many of
episode
those.
1 of the
Yes.
series to the end.
So many
is
callbacks.
Amazing.
And again, this isn't the finale, but like earlier in the season when Nate wins over Jade,
Yeah.
you see his dad with all like his like how he's like a map expert.
Yes.
And that's a callback to in season 1. I think Ted was going to try to fly back to Kansas City. He was talking about it, and he's like, "How far are we from Kansas City?" And like
Instantly.
Nate knew it.
Yeah,
And everyone's
instantly.
like, "How do you know that?" And he's like, "Oh, my dad's really into maps."
Yeah.
Just little things like that
Yes.
that they're like
Payoff.
calling back.
They got
on.
payoff,
Yeah, the
yeah.
payoff.
His dad's a cartographer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cartographer. That's right. What did I say? Really good with maps. Also, really good with writing. Trent Krim.
Yes.
So this
Oh.
book, The Richmond Way, which he called the Lasso Way,
Yeah.
like I hope that's a real book.
I want to read it. I
Yeah,
really
that'd
do.
be cool.
Yeah.
That would be awesome if it's eventually, they just release it. Because there've been so many of these shows that have released a book that like encapsulates like a character or
Yeah.
encapsulates the essence of the show. Like How I Met Your Mother had literally released the Bro Code.
That's right.
At one point, I know Parks and Rec has released one or two in relation to like the character set up in there.
Yeah,
So that'd be super cool if they eventually
It
do.
would be awesome.
But the incorporation of Trent Krim this season has been incredible, man.
Yes.
The fact that he has been with
One
the
of my
team-
favorite characters.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's another thing. You tell your 2020 self that Trent Krim is going to be one of your favorite characters. You're like, no, get the heck out of here, man.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Well, and it's not because I didn't like Trent in season 1, but it's like I wouldn't expect him to have such a major pivotal role.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Right.
even when, like, Trent, when he's trying to get feedback from his book, and when
He's
Ted
so self-conscious.
when Ted finally chuckles and he gets up really fast,
do laugh.
Yeah, but it took you 43 pages to do it. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah,
All
Trent.
right, we're dipping a little bit into like we're appreciating Trent over the season. Here's a second. We're going to talk about the whole season.
yeah.
Briefly, of course.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
anything else from the finale you guys want to touch on?
I think for me, Rebecca, I feel like her just where she's at. Like we like, for example, the parallels to episode 1. Like she is like divorce scandal. Like she's like she's
bitter.
Yeah, she's
Very much
wanting
so.
to get back at her ex. But then in this one, she's kind of free. She's free from. Rupert, like he does not have a hold over her,
Yeah.
and she doesn't really care what happens with him, what he's doing in this. It doesn't matter. To her. She's not
it
petty,
has allowed
petty
her to
anymore.
like love the club in a way
Yeah.
that she would have been completely unable to do in season
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
One thing that I actually really loved was the way that Rupert looked when he was moving. He looked like a villain. Like he had the yes, he looked like he had a cape.
Yeah.
Yes, like the entire time. I love the
Darth
way
Vader.
that they had him move and just like it was just like his essence.
He did that actor did such a good job being just a
A tool bag.
Yes, yes.
I'm trying to
Very
keep
good.
keep it clean here, but yeah, just a jerk. And like the way they like, and he goes down in the field, he pushes his
yeah.
manager. Like
Yeah.
it was like, dude, such a bad look. I mean, he literally humiliated himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, even the moment with the manager, like I actually like you get because the manager has been there from the very beginning.
First episode,
and he was, to tell you the truth, he's been kind of a butt himself.
Yeah, on
the
TV
entire time. He's kind of full of himself.
Yeah,
everything, and then like he gets his one moment of like he gets his moment to show his true colors. And like his refusal to like have somebody
to play dirty,
to play dirty, to have somebody take out Jamie Tart.
I love that.
Yeah, so that was all. Like, I love that he got that little moment of like his own justice in this moment,
and a little moment that happened shortly after that. I love the little nod that him and Ted made.
Very good. Yeah,
they're both on the sideline when the second half is resuming. It was just like a, "Hey, I see you, and I'm sorry, and I'm here for you."
It was Ted like, "Yeah, I know what's going on."
I get
like,
it.
we know.
Yeah. And then they shook hands at the end of the game, and it was awesome. And trying to think what else. Oh, okay. Funny thing, but like Coach Beard. First of all, we learned his name.
Yeah, Willis.
We wanted to know. The diehard fans have been speculating on Reddit for like ages. Like what's his name? Are we ever gonna know it? Anytime that actor, whatever his name is, they always like to ask him in interviews, "Are we ever gonna learn Coach Beard's name?" Yeah, they're like, are we ever going to learn Coach Beard's name? And he was always like, yeah, I'm not really sure, They're kind of closed off about it.
In all actuality, they referenced it last season in an episode when
we talking about Willis.
Yeah, we were talking about Willis.
Yeah, that's right. And we would have never known.
Nope.
God, this show is so good, man. If you haven't watched the show, I mean, I just feel bad for you.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that season 3 has been actually getting a lot of hate in like on social media and in some forums. Like it's been very, very down, which I don't understand.
Is it because of all the gay stuff?
I didn't see a lot of that. I didn't see a lot of that.
I mean, I think it is that, but people don't want to say it is that.
Because for me, whether you like the gay stuff or not, I think objectively, this season is remarkable. Like, for me, season 2 was not that good compared to season 1.
Right. Yeah.
So what's my favorite season? It would either be 1 or 3, but like this one has way more depth.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth going on.
But also being just laugh out loud funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So the people who are hating it, I don't know if it's because of the, all the gay stuff they did.
Yeah.
But like for me, I don't really care. Like it was heartfelt.
Yep.
It was emotionally invigorating.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. A lot of going on. Like
the people who are hating it, man, I don't know what to say to you.
The only I told Justin, I think I told Justin this, or maybe I told you this. The one part that I did not like, I don't particularly like that Jane ended up with, or that Beard ended up with Jane. Jane is not a character that I particularly
She's
enjoyed.
not stable, yeah.
Yes. I feel like she's emotionally...
Not stable? Yeah, no, quite the opposite.
I just felt like she was emotionally manipulative in so many ways, and just like the type of... I don't know. I don't feel like she was always the best for Beard.
You almost wish like there would have been a moment for Beard where he finally was free. Kind of like Rebecca was of Rupert.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But...
yeah, to me, I feel like she was a character that, maybe you a season and a half she's around, and then finally the character's like, oh, I finally get it. Mm-hmm. Like they have the moment, and then they let that person fly, right off into the sunset, and they, whether they're by themselves and figure everything out, or they find someone who's more appropriate for their own situation.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was probably the only part that I was like, ugh, like, but it is what it is. In that situation, you love who you love, but I felt like that was, I felt like there were so many cool moments in this episode, and just phenomenal. Just like little things, and seeing Nate back, and
Nate crying and apologizing.
Yes.
How about the gut-wrenching goodbye with Rebecca's at the airport?
Yeah.
And Ted sees her, he goes over, and like he does his little like funny jokes first, where he's like, you had to buy a first class ticket to come say bye
Force
to me.
of habit.
Yeah, force of habit. But then they have their moment, man. Like she does not want him to go, but then you see, like, he's like, oh, you decided to sell the team 49%, not the whole team. And then they just, I don't know, their relationship, it was always like, are they, aren't they, like going to be like like together in a relationship? But in the end, like their friendship is what really was like the strength of the show.
Yeah,
it was like they were the pillars for each other.
Correct.
They were those people to hold each other up.
They were so connected emotionally that I was like, oh my gosh, are they actually about to kiss right now? Like I thought that, and I was like, please don't. Not because I don't want them to be together, but just like it didn't feel necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like so many times in movies and shows, it's like a kiss happens where you're like, why?
I feel like at that moment it would have detracted from the story, especially that late in the story.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It would have. Personally, at the beginning of the series, I felt like that's how it was going to be. But I feel like as soon as he hooked up with her best friend, Sassy, I was like, that storyline it's got to be dead for this series to
I agree.
be good. But I feel like if it had happened in the last episode, it would have been kind of a slap to the face. Like
everything they built.
The strength of their like relationship. Like you very rarely do you get to see these relationships too between a man and a woman where they're just like they're best friends and they're just. It may seem like from the outside you're like because of the way that our mind works in TV that you're like these people have to be together, but it's just like their friendship is so strong. Yeah. You know, it was sort of like in Shang-Chi, you know, that relationship between, you know, Simu Liu's character and Awkwafina. Like it seemed like it should have been a romantic relationship, but
it never was. Yeah.
But it never was in the movie.
Yeah.
It was just they have so much strength and they lean on each other so much.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a sweet moment, her at the airport. And then when she's leaving the airport.
Oh, yeah.
She, in a very like Disney movie kind of way, randomly runs into
some little girl.
Yep.
Some little girl who happens to be the daughter of the man she had a wonderful night with in Amsterdam.
Yes.
Turns out to be a pilot, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's literally a flying Dutchman.
Nice. I like that. I do like that. That's good. And then we see that they do last.
Okay, Ted.
They do stay together, and because the barbecue that Leslie has.
Family.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's right. But he's there, and Roy's niece is playing with the Dutchman's daughter, so that's great.
I think it was just like I'm okay with it being that sort of like moment there because of the way they kind of played the whole.
It was cool.
The oh my gosh, I can't remember like the mentalist character.
Mentalist?
Not the mental, like the fortune teller. There we go.
Oh,
the way they put the whole fortune teller character, I felt that was like the fruition of everything that fortune teller character was trying to play out. So I feel like it was kind of following in that thread that she had been kind of played out with. That it was like this moment of, you know, truth. You know, so I was okay with it. I was okay with them playing it out like that because they kind of already set the groundwork that something like this could potentially happen.
Yeah, and also like. Another thing I love about the finale, like the sporting side of it, like they win the game, they're celebrating, but it also is kind of cool, like
that they didn't
win the title, like a very cliche,
typical Ted Lasso fashion. Like
it's interesting, right? Yeah, it's a typical Ted Lasso fashion where like there's a lot of disappointment.
Yeah,
just to show you that the show's never really been about soccer.
No, not at all. No.
That's what I love when I'm talking to some stupid American who's like, I don't want to watch it. I don't like soccer. I was like, you don't even. First of all, soccer's the best sport in the world, so you suck. But secondly. Like, you don't have to like soccer.
Yeah.
It's so much more than just soccer. In fact, this season we got a whole lot more like
on-field
action, and they tried to up the quality of like in the stadiums.
Actual play.
Yeah, they went to the actual stadiums, and it wasn't just this, the dog track or whatever they call the AFC Richmond Field. But anyways, it was cool that they didn't just like have a storybook ending and
right.
Yeah.
Because also. AFC ain't no American coach going to beat Man City, by the way. So, anyways, I digress.
Yeah. That's. I mean, listen, I really wanted them to win the whole entire thing. That would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Like a part of me deep down inside was like, oh, please, come on. But seriously though, like typical fashion, like it needed to end this way.
Yeah. I just remembered another thing I loved about this finale.
Please,
the care package from Zava.
Oh yeah, with the avocado.
With the avocado. One avocado.
Yeah.
And they
one
said
avocado.
Yeah, Jamie's like, one avocado, and then Bumbercatch, she pulls it out and holds it with both hands.
Yeah.
Biggest avocado I've ever seen.
Yeah. But getting back to what you were saying about like people not liking, maybe not liking it because it's about soccer. And I just feel like there's this unnecessary stigma that goes around sports, TV shows and sports, especially sports like comedies, that that other types of shows don't get. Like you don't see this happen in like a medical thing where almost like, oh, I don't like doctors, so I don't watch I don't watch Scrubs.
Yeah,
It's like why, like you don't have that connection. Like there's so many good shows.
You said about The Office one time. You're like, "Whoa, do you watch The Office because you like selling paper?"
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. I feel like there's just such this unnecessary bias against sports related things. Like, you know, the show like The League. A lot of people are like, "Oh, well, I don't like fantasy football." It's not about fantasy football. No, it's about the relationships.
Yeah, it's more about sex than fantasy football.
I mean, it really is.
Oh, that's our fantasy football league. No.
But anyway, it's about the framing device. It's a framing device for the relationships that are happening inside of this stuff. You know, same thing happens with Blue Mountain State. I know you've seen. I know you haven't seen Blue Mountain State, but Justin has seen Blue Mountain State, and it's about college football. But it's not really about college football.
Right.
It's a framing device.
Exactly.
You know, it's about the relationships
Sets up
that
a
are
context.
happening. Yes, It just puts you in an environment so you kind of know what, you know, where they're going to be around. Why are these people together? Is really the reason why that you have this.
I will say, in fairness, most people that I've told about the show and then they end up watching it, most of them, I'm trying to even think if I could think of anybody who doesn't like it. Most people really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because it's a good friggin' show.
Oh, it is. It's phenomenal.
I mean, it helps to have like a juggernaut like Jason Sudeikis as a lead. It does help.
Gosh, he's so good.
He is so good.
Yes,
I do feel like
he's so freaking likable.
Yeah, I do feel like he kind of took a back seat this season.
Well, dude, I was gonna say,
a little bit,
emphasize the rest of the
season
cast.
1, he dominates.
Oh yeah, big time.
But like, and there's a theory. And look, they wrote it off perfectly. But I've heard people saying like, you know, hey, we could still do this show without Ted Lasso.
You can. Yeah, it can.
Because like you really could.
Yeah.
You know, like they set it up where they could continue on. Like I hope. You know what I hope is that if they ever do it, it's like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's like 5 years into Roy's campaign, coaching career. You know what I'm saying?
They've won 2 championships.
Yeah. Or they're in now they're in the Champions League, and Ted goes and
or
shows
maybe
up
it's
day.
like, you know, most likely what would happen is it's at this point in his leadership where maybe some of the luster has worn off, like that warm fuzzy feeling like they had to re-find like that same level of caring and same level of stuff, like the feel that was you kind of like a way of like it really maybe was more of the Lasso way, and it was because of that maybe they lost sight a little bit of what, you know, what has happened.
And the point is, like, kind of like how you said Ted took a back seat, like Sudeikis took a back seat. It's like that's because the rest of the ensemble was so good.
They were. I mean, even the cheesy musical number that they do it's good.
Yeah.
Like it's good.
Yeah. And by the way, so I watched it with my wife and my mother-in-law, and they predicted that was literally going to happen.
The musical number?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
They were like,
I don't even know how.
They said they're gonna sing. The players are gonna sing that song, and like the day we watched it, Did
they see the title of the show beforehand or no?
I have no idea.
Okay, because it's like farewell. It's like So Long Farewell or something.
Oh, okay. Which, you know, they kind of do that. Some of their titles are nods to.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of their titles are nods to other. Things, but but they totally predicted that. So shout out my wife and mother-in-law. They rocked it. But okay, how about this? You know, we talked about the finale. We talked about season 3. Just anything else overall about the show you guys want to say before we wrap this up?
I feel like the emphasis on the heart. I said in the beginning, like it's real. It's a real thing for the show, but like it's got a wholesome feel to it. But it's not like 100% wholesome. Like you have like.
You don't feel like you're watching Seventh Heaven,
right? Correct.
Like you know, to the point to where it's like
you have crazy bar scenes. You have like hookups and craziness going on.
Like and also like the pain. Like there's so much pain around these moments of even inside these moments of wholesomeness. Sometimes
like Ted Lasso and his mom, like where he's like "F you," like "F you" for not saying
that was
for telling me or reaching out like that. Like they're going back and forth. And just pretty much Jason Sudeikis is like F you to his mom multiple times.
Yes.
And the realness in that, like it's not that it was like it's not PG for obviously for a reason, right? But honestly, you feel it in your heart, like you're like, dang, dude, like he's laying it all out there for his mom on like why did you not come to me? Why didn't you not talk to me about that? Like it's real life. It's happening.
Yeah.
It was
It was
life.
beautiful. That was a beautiful scene because
it
he's
was.
like, you hurt me, but even as he said that, he also said, but like he was saying, "F you, mom," but he was also saying like, I love that you know, the way he like mentioned like she like packed his lunches a certain way or something.
It left a note.
Like
Left a note on his lunch. Yeah.
Yeah. Like so, there was like positive things and negative things. It's because nobody's perfect. That's the whole purpose of the show. Like too, like they're showing like we're all kind of humans. We're all kind of messed up.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of what he was saying to his mom. And it's like it doesn't mean you're anything worse than me. Just like I want you to acknowledge it and let's be real about it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, right.
Beautiful show.
Yeah. And it kind of shows you how it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
You know what it comes down to? Season 2, which again, it wasn't my favorite season, but Danny Rojas meets with the doctor, Sharon?
Yeah.
Shannon,
I think.
whatever. And he's like, you know, she told me that football is life, but sometimes football can be death too.
Yeah.
But mostly football is life.
Yes.
But it's like the whole point where it's like,
It's actually a great encapsulation of the entire show right there.
it is. Yeah.
Like the fact that like so wholesome, but there's also these extreme moments of like it's death. It is
Yeah.
it is pain. Like
Yeah.
they go through a lot of pain in the show. And they cycle through so much mental health and so much like things that they're just trying to get through. And you know, Ted has so much that he's feeding through, and you know every single character has something that they're dealing with, and especially in the mental health realm, like
Exactly.
you know, or just a struggle, and they just bring it out. They really bring it out, like all these struggles and where these people are trying to, you know, better themselves and make themselves, you know, better versions of themselves. You know,
totally.
Man, I will watch anything that Danny Rojas, Cristo Fernandez is in. I'll watch anything. Like,
Yeah.
He was great the entire series. Series.
Oh man, brought so
Phenomenal.
much life.
And how about even the scene in the finale where like Jamie's like, "Here, Danny, you take a shot," and then Danny's like, "Capitan, like take it, man,
Dude.
you got this."
So I'll say this as the sporting side of it, as a real soccer fan, and I told my wife and mother-in-law that would never happen.
No.
Never in a million years would that ball be passed around like a hot potato.
Yeah.
When they're down 2-1 in the last game of the season, like there's a clear penalty kick taker, and they take it. But that's okay. It was also hilarious how it looked like he skied it, but he just rifled it straight through the net, which was amazing.
Gosh, which they've alluded to all season that his kicks are insane. Like he cracks windows, like that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh, so the thing is, like, Ted Lasso is the perfect show when you're just hanging out with the boys, having a drink, just reminiscing on it because it's just so memorable. There's so many funny moments. So much so that here in a minute, we're probably going to turn this off. Justin's going to be editing this podcast.
Yes.
And we're probably going to have Ted Lasso run in the background as we just hang out. Because it's just it's a very rewatchable show. It is one of the most rewatchable things I've ever.
Yeah.
Like I have I've gone through season 1. Oh my gosh. I don't know how many. Yeah, especially those early episodes.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how many times I've watched them.
It's one of the only shows that can put a genuine smile on your face. Like it really is. Like you could like the credits start rolling and you are like smiling from ear to ear for no particular reason. If anybody would walk in the room at that moment, they're like, "What's wrong with you? Like why are you like
you
this?"
all right?
Yeah. It's that good. It's that good.
Yeah, and just the allegorical moments of like every Ted has most of them, but there's a couple by some other characters, especially like there's one memorable one by Roy in this season. And it's just like those moments, those stories are just like they're enthralling as they're going through them, and like the way they're drawing insights of other parts of your life and pulling them into this TV show. Of course, the probably the most famous one would be the "Be Curious, Not Judgmental" moment when they're playing darts. Which is just a phenomenal scene. Just like it is just elite.
Barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like it's just a phenomenal scene.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And then you have and then talking about the dog and at the beginning of season 2.
Dog's wearing a helmet in this season.
Yes, I did love that they looked over at him.
Yeah,
and he was
he
like,
hid behind the leg of the
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like,
holder.
in my head, I'm thinking, why is the dog standing there? Screw the helmet.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Also, how does the dog know that he needs to be doing that?
Yeah. It's just so good. Just so silly.
But yeah, it's just like, and then yeah, of course, Roy's in this season. He kind of, as you were saying, Ted kind of hands it off to the rest of the series, and like Roy's speech, he does basically the same thing in this season is phenomenal too. And it's just like those stories are just like they're elite. Like they're talking about these what are a lot of times frivolous things that are happening on the field, but bring so much gravitas to them by making them about more than what they actually are, like what's going on right now.
Yeah, totally. Oh, okay, last thing I'll say, and they win that last game, and even again the way they win it is a callback. They do the play that Nate came up with in season 1.
Yes.
Nate the Great, and Jamie is
does
literally
it exactly like him.
Ted did. Yeah.
Yes.
I want the ball. I want the ball.
Yeah,
Pass
put it
me the
here,
ball.
put it here, yeah.
Literally the exact.
Pass it to me, please.
You want me to be like a decoy?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys!
Good
I love
callbacks,
this
good
show.
callbacks.
So many callbacks. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Last word. If you want one more thing to say, that's your chance. Last chance.
Well, the Jamie development, the
elite.
biggest sign of that is the episode 1. He's wearing the hat that says Icon. It says Icon on his hat, and then the last episode it says ICOG, like he's a part of the cog. He's a part of the system.
I didn't even catch that.
He's a part. Yeah, he's a part of the working people.
I was going to say,
yeah.
in the they have the it's not a montage, but whatever at the roundup at the end
with him and his
visiting
dad.
his dad.
Yeah, in rehab. His
Yeah,
dad's in
rehab.
rehab.
Yes.
and he's
And his
actually having
dad.
moments, sharing
Yeah,
moments
it
with
was
his dad.
special.
Yeah, that was phenomenal too. That was a great little.
Yeah.
That was a great little moment that we get to see, like his. I mean,
Reconciliation.
It's one of those moments where you get to see like Ted being the. It's back to like the very first episode when he's talking about them not necessarily being great football players.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to make them great people.
This show is all about fatherhood.
Yes,
It is.
Honestly, yeah, you're right.
It really
And
is.
he said
It
it.
is.
He told, I think, Sam about that when like he in season 2 when he invited Jamie back to be on the team, because it's like Jamie didn't have like a good father,
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Sam did,
Yes.
and which we met Sam's
Yeah,
father in season 3,
yeah.
which is
Yes.
also awesome.
That was a heartbreaking moment when they have in that. So you see Sam meet his father, and you're like, that is a great moment.
Yeah,
But
he
you
just
also
embraces
see
him, yeah.
Jamie. You see Jamie looking at that, and you see the
Wanting,
longing
yeah.
in the like the. Season 1, I would say it was jealousy, but it was not jealousy. It was longing. It was he
longing is a good word.
yearned. He yearned to have that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he in a way he envied it, but not in like a negative way.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, he longed for it.
Yes.
It's a perfect way to say it. Also, speaking of Sam, he made the Nigeria
Yeah,
national team.
Yes.
there you
That
go.
was that was
It's
awesome.
great.
So you get that.
Trent's doing his book tour. I mean, again, there's just perfect wrap up at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nate is having dinner with his entire family
Yes.
with Jade
In
his
the window
favorite
seat.
spot.
In his
Yes.
favorite spot, and his dad's happy to be there.
Yes.
Dude, even his dad in season 3, like,
You finally get to
opened up.
finally understand a
Yes.
little bit.
Again,
Like,
this show is about fatherhood.
yeah, because his dad that relationship didn't make a whole lot of sense up until. I mean, it didn't. It was still a little bit. I feel like
You thought he was a
but-
hard ass.
Yeah, he was a hard ass, but you get to see a little bit of like why,
She wanted him to be happy.
in that moment,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna have to cut this off, otherwise we will just keep going and going and going.
Richmond till we die.
There you go. Amen to that.
I would buy a share of the team.
Yeah,
I would.
Dude, in that, okay, last thing. In that, she sold 49% of the
To the
club to the
fans.
fans, and
Yeah.
they all have their certificates.
Yep.
That's beautiful, man.
And it's funny because the 3 bar people that we've grown to love, right? Like they share one share.
yes,
That's what they,
That's how broke they are.
but then Mo, the
May.
May. Oh
May,
yeah,
May.
May. Sorry, I said Mo. I don't know. May. She has like a whole stack of the team
Yeah,
shares.
yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh man! Also love how those 3 guys are always in the bar,
Always.
Yes.
Always.
never
Yep.
in the stadium.
Yep.
Even
because
the
they
home
can't
games.
afford it.
Exactly.
Can't afford
Yeah.
it, Yep. That's why they're sharing a share.
Yes, that's why they're sharing a share.
Surprised
That's
they weren't
why.
sharing-
That's why it's so great
sharing
when
pints.
they get when they get invited to come
I
in.
love
Oh, yeah,
Coach
they love
Beard's
it.
episode.
Yeah, that episode, and when they get invited to be a part of the practices,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, it's such a big moment for them because they can't get in.
Is this heaven? No, it's Nelson Road.
That's right.
All right, we got to cut it off, guys. We got to cut it off. Shout out to everyone who tuned in. We love this. We love Ted Lasso, and we love you. And we thank you for tuning in.
Football is life.
Football is life. Follow us on social media at Royal Geek Pod. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. For my good friends, Sandy and Shamato, this is T-Roll saying thank you so much for listening to the Royal Geek Podcast. We will see you next time, you greyhounds.